We finally went above 500, 9-8 last year. Just was not quite good enough to make the postseason. And now we got some tough calls to be made here. Are we going to have enough money to bring back David Njoku? I don't think that we are. We got to make some tough calls. We do have a tight end upcoming, Michael Swain. Good tight end. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But we will bring back Wyatt Teller. I thought he was a huge piece to our offense. Big-time offensive lineman there for us at guard. And you can see just the amount of talent that we're losing here again this year. Got to consider bringing Eric Kendricks back. He's not asking for a ton of money yet, but at middle linebacker spot, he could shore that thing up. Preston Smith, his contract is expiring, but I want to get it off the books right now, so we just went ahead and officially released him. Same thing here with Ty Long. No penalties here for these players, but we will make some cap room just to get some flexibility for either renegotiations or through free agency. Now, I don't remember drafting this guy. He's a one-year pro out of Texas A&M. Maybe it might have been a practice squad steal somewhere, but we'll release him. Antoine Lincoln. We'll also release Anthony Schwartz. Now, I was debating whether or not we should do that because he did post up some good numbers, but funny enough, they just released him yesterday. Saw that come across Twitter, or X. I thought that was pretty hilarious. All this gameplay that I'm showing you is like in the early access release, like the 3 days early. So we made the right call, I guess, 4 years later. But taking a look at Deshaun Watson's pay as compared to the other quarterbacks across the league, just some of them, not all. And man, we got to think about possibly taking a quarterback here in the draft. There wasn't really anything speaking to me through free agency. We did let David Njoku go. And this is just a little roster preview of what we're looking at heading into season number 4. So center probably going to be a spot that I'm going to focus on. We got Whippler, we got Brandon Monroe, the guy that we just drafted last year. We're going to kick him out there to guard. At least have something on the books there as far as that positional group goes. We do have 3 right guards. We could kick one of them to be a backup left guard. But Jack Conklin and DeJuan Jones. Jones is younger. Conklin is good. But I think we got to save some money here. Get a little more active in free agency. We're going to send him out to Tampa Bay in return for Mike Evans and a draft pick this season. So we're swapping round 5s, but the round 5 we're giving Tampa Bay is actually for next year. So I think this is probably a decent trade. Both players in the last season of their contract, and plus we're saving a lot of money, right? So Mike Evans is an established wide receiver, could be really good for that wide receiver room. A veteran guy, kind of coaching him up. The young wide receiver room that we have. Now looking at the end spots, you got Nick Hall, you've got Isaiah McGuire. I think McGuire's probably going to win that job this preseason. You still got Myles Garrett, you got Dalvin Tomlinson, only 2 defensive tackles. Brian Bassey won Defensive Rookie of the Year a couple seasons ago, maybe last year I believe. Dave Irons on our right side, I like him. We still got to shore up the middle spot though. Cornerback, probably our best defensive position group in all honesty. We don't have any backups there for our safety spot. But as we head into free agent negotiations, we have about $10 million to work with kickers and punters. That's about all that we can afford at this point. And it's a pretty light offseason to say the least. So about $4 million in cap. I'm not going to use it for like another depth piece. We can focus on our draft, go that route. Now the Jets will acquire Tyler Lockett and David Njoku, along with the Texans grabbing our cornerback, Martin Emerson Jr. That sucks. I hate to see those types of players go, but man, when you can't afford something, you can't afford something. It hurts, but I think we'll be okay. Michael Swain, I believe in him. I think he's going to be a really solid tight end for us. Now here we are at the draft. We have not done any deep analysis on this draft class in particular. Actually, the last couple ones we haven't done a lot of analysis on, but that's okay. We just trying to draft what's best available, and we'll talk about players from there, right? That's what we really have been focused on. But we have a top 5 quarterback just staring us in the face. Round 1, mid-round pick. I don't think that there's any question here, guys. We had a top 5 left tackle stare us down, John Dean, and now we have a top 5 quarterback staring us down. He's fallen, and he's fallen off a cliff for whatever reason. We're mid-round. You could easily select this guy. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Deshaun Watson is done after this season. All his contract is coming off the books. So we go out and we get a blessing right here. Dorian Kiernan, a hidden dev quarterback, falling from a top 5 to mid-round in the first round. That's insane. So we'll take it. He'll sit behind Watson for a season, maybe even compete for the job. I don't know, but we're paying a lot of money for Deshaun Watson to sit the bench. So I think the best option for Dorian is to sit the bench the first year, be our starter next year. And I think we'll take this guy here, Xavier Green, a free safety. Got some good skills, got some good numbers there, good ratings. He's also a hidden dev free safety. He should probably end up being our starter from Cole Osgood, a guy that we drafted a couple seasons ago. So I think we're getting younger in places that we really need to, and on those rookie contracts, guys don't have to get paid quite yet. Now look at this guy, elite speed at the middle linebacker spot, Richard Temple, 91 excel, 84 agility, 80 change of direction. I like that as a middle linebacker. He can kind of get under Eric Kendricks' wing a little bit, coach him up, be a nice coverage linebacker, right? Well, we'd have to see his ratings, but I think he's going to be pretty good. Now, this wide receiver, Greg Pierce, he's really catching my eye here because I love guys that run fast. I love guys with speed, especially like in gameplay, because we're going to do some gameplay here when we start making the playoffs and some high leverage playoff situations, right? The big games. Wild card, maybe not so much. But David Maddox, a center, was a bad pick. He was a bad pick. We've addressed center a couple times in these last couple of years, and we just have not quite found a guy. Greg Pierce, though, with 98 excel and 94 speed, he continues to fall. We'll take him real late. I think we got some really good value there. But a guy through some research here that I absolutely love is Nick Claxton. Look at all of the elite ratings he has. Acceleration, agility, change of direction, jumping, speed. He's a hidden dev in round 5. 97 excel, 97 agility, 99 change of direction. Absolutely amazing player in round 5. Oh my God. So we took 2 wide receivers in round 5, but they're speed demons. And I love that, simply put, because, Cordell Hill's nice possession type of guy. He's the future wide receiver 1, but between these two guys, Claxton and Pierce, if they can kind of hide in the background there as wide receiver 6, wide receiver 7, they might be able to show us something here in the next couple of seasons, depending on how well we do in the next couple of years here in this long build. But we can see just how he's beating Denzel Ward off the line. Look at this. He's gone, dude. He is beating his man, and boom, right there, perfect accuracy. Got the gold XP. Love it, man. Love it. I think he's going to be great. Now, in the preseason, Dorian Kiernan, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Marco Stevens did not have over 100 yards, but that's okay. Now, Leonard Davis, a tight end with 17 grabs. Ingram with 10 grabs. Also another wide receiver that we drafted a couple seasons ago. Michael Swain was one of our top targets. I think our offensive line has been playing well too. Richard Temple with 21 tackles, leading the way across all of our roster and tackles. Had a lot of downs played apparently for that. TFLs, Tomlinson, McGuire, Bassey, Temple had 1. Frank Harris had another. Sacks, you got Bassey with 1. Tomlinson with nothing. INTs, only 2. Cortez Williams and Denzel Ward. I was hoping to see if they return that for a touchdown. Not likely, but always have to check. But it's just kind of nice to see your young guys perform, and we're ready. We're now ready for season number 4. Guys, we have lost a ton of overall rating in the last couple of years. We are a 78 overall team, but we are 5-2. We've put this team together the right way. That's what I'm thinking, man. We've got a lot of young dudes on this team, on this squad, but man, we're looking good. Had a nice winning streak there before a loss to the Bucks. Then a nice win over the Falcons, 35-14. We're 1-1 against the Bengals. We got blown out by them in week number 1, but we did return the favor here a couple weeks ago. So, guys, defensively, we're still struggling. We're 28th as far as yards against us goes, but we are 3rd in the league in offensive yards. Deshaun Watson continues to play mediocre. 9 touchdowns, 7 picks. Nick Chubb, halfway to about an 800-yard season. Wide receiver room looks pretty solid. You got Hills. You've got Chubb there pitching in with a couple 100 yards. You got Mike Evans. You got Michael Swain. Guys, and our offensive line looks like it's been protecting Watson, but he's just forcing a lot of passes, which I don't like. But Cortez Williams, you had Brian Bassey, 2 guys, 2 young dudes leading the team in top 5 in tackles. You've got Brian Bassey here with TFLs. Nice to see. Take a look at the sack totals here. Of course, Myles Garrett there leading the way. You got Van Ginkel with a sack and a half, and a lot of guys with half a sack. So we're just not really getting to the quarterback outside of Myles Garrett. He's really doing God's work. A couple of picks for our linebacker crew. We got Richard Temple, Kendricks has 3, and Brian Bassey has 1 as well. So linebackers are doing a job. We went 10-7 this season, and we made the postseason. Wow, that's pretty big time, man. To go from where we were to finally a playoff clinching season, I'd say that was an accomplishment. You know, just we have a very small window, very short window here. Year 1, year 2, probably the Browns, and even in real life, their best window. But now that we're moving past that, a couple seasons in now, you guys have seen it in this long build, the salary cap effects, the contract situations that we have here. It's been a lot to handle, but we've been able to field a team together that's pretty young, and we're doing it the right way. I'm impressed with some of our youngsters here, like Bassey and Hills, other guys like Cortez Williams at the cornerback spot, Michael Swain, the tight end. I love what we're building here as far as a youth movement goes. But as far as yards are concerned, we didn't really have it going on through the air. Just, you know, nobody went over 1,000 yards. Mike Evans only had 5 touchdowns. I wasn't expecting a ton from him anyway. But Nick Chubb, 15 total touchdowns and 1,100 yards. He was the man here for our offense, big time. Now, on the left and right tackle spots, I probably got to shore this up. You know, I was really hoping that Jones would be better than what he was. And John Dean, I was hoping he was going to be better than what he was. But, you know, 11 sacks in the year, that's not terrible. But it can get cleaned up just a little bit there. Nick Claxton, decent season. I wasn't expecting too much from him anyway. He's got to work on some things. But I was really hoping his dev trait would have been unlocked so he knew exactly what he was heading into season number 5. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. Over 100 tackles there for Eric Kendricks, along with 4 interceptions. So he had a very well-rounded season. For the amount of money that we're paying him, I will take that every single day. Bassey, Cortez Williams, Denzel Ward, upwards of 80 tackles. I thought that was a productive season for them. Although Bassey was hoping for a little bit more than what he supplied us this year, because it was a far cry from what he did in his rookie year to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. But guys, as you know, we are in the postseason. We'll go ahead and simulate Wild Card Playoff Week against the Jaguars, and we will get a victory here by a field goal, 17-14. We must have scored that field goal in the 4th quarter. Scored 10 points in there, and the margin of victory was by 3. So I'm thinking that's when we got it. It might have been a last-second field goal. I wish they gave you like a scoring summary. That way you knew exactly when that happened. But Michael Swain just went off. You guys want to talk about missing David Njoku? Michael Swain's the real deal, man. He's awesome. 9 receptions over 100 yards. And as far as our offensive line goes and our protection, I don't see any sacks given up. So that's a good thing. Tackles, we had Temple, Cortez Williams, and Kendricks leading the way. TFLs, Myles Garrett had 1. No sacks and only 1 pick there from Denzel Ward. Now, here's a problem. The Indianapolis Colts have hit on a lot of their draft picks. Frank Sweat, a wide receiver from Clemson. Matthew Barnes, a rookie, a superstar rookie strong safety. And Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. How are we going to win this game? Honestly, look at the overall ratings for these guys. This is crazy. Frank Sweat is a 91 overall player. That's insane. And then look at the offensive line here, guys. You still got Quentin Nelson is still a Colt. Alex Meyer, Braden Smith, Kwity Paye, Grady Jarrett. Good God. Defensive tackles are above the 80s. Devin Bush, Malcolm Rodriguez is in here. Dude, we can't win this. Matthew Barnes. Dude, White has an 82 and he's on the bench. He's second string strong safety. That's insanity. So we will simulate this game and we will lose. I thought we were going to. 27-11. We had 3 points until the second half where we scored a touchdown and then a 2-pointer. Anthony Richardson absolutely killed us. 3 touchdowns, no picks. And that was the game right there. Frank Sweat, 8 catches for over 100 and a touchdown. Plus Michael Pittman had himself a day as well. Michael Swain was our leading receiver. Just we didn't really get anything going through the air. Just, you know, they had us locked down completely. We protected Watson pretty good. Only 1 sack given up, but it just wasn't enough. We just didn't force the turnovers. We didn't force the pressure on Richardson. He sliced and diced us up, and the rest is history. So we will effectively end our run this year in Season 4 as divisional losers. It's okay. We finally got a playoff victory with this young core of players, and plus Deshaun Watson's contract is coming off the books now. That means we can do a lot of things, a lot of creative things, especially with our young guys as the core of the roster now. Love that. And plus we still have Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb. We still have some pretty good, darn good players. Plus we made the Pro Bowl with a couple guys that I didn't anticipate there. Like Michael Swain was tight end number 2. We had Marco Ingram was punt returner number 1. So some of our young guys got a Pro Bowl invite. Love that. Absolutely love that. So as we simulate past Pro Bowl weekend, head to the Super Bowl, just getting a quick snapshot look here at the awards, and Kevin Stefanski was not on the list for Head Coach of the Year. Considering our overall rating and winning a playoff game, that's pretty huge. I would have considered him top 10 at least. But familiar faces here for the Browns. You've got Chubb on the offensive side. You've got Myles Garrett on the defensive side. Plus, Eric Kendricks was rounding out the top 10. I love to see that, man. Nobody there for Rookie of the Year on offense, but defensively, nobody there either for us. That's okay. That's all right. Our first round pick was a quarterback, right? Dorian Kiernan, who I'm actually looking forward to watching here in the next season, because we are going to let Deshaun Watson go. Little news flash there. Little sneak peek. He's gone. Get his contract off the books and let the rookie cook. That's where I'm at with it. Now, just kind of scrolling through, kind of giving you guys a good picture of the players around the league, and because these players, the further that we go, we're going to start seeing their names pop up, and I want you guys to have a reference point. Super Bowl champs will be the Chiefs. Last year was the Bills, then the Bills again, then the Bills again. So the Bills and the Chiefs, it's been an AFC dynasty between two clubs. Crazy. Now, by the way, did you guys notice that Matt Milano was a Super Bowl MVP? Yeah, but we're going to go target him in free agency. So just keep your eyes open there. A couple of retirements here. We got Tomlinson leaving us. We've got Kendricks and Mike Evans retiring. That stinks, but you kind of anticipated it. They're getting a little older. Deshaun Watson's contract is off the books now. We will go back and go ahead and try to sign Myles Garrett, but Deshaun Watson's gone. And just by comparison, historic team success, considering the fact like we're scrolling through some of these NFL clubs, I think the Browns, we've done a pretty good job, all things considered. I think we've done a pretty good job with everything that's been thrown at us as far as money goes. How do you keep the talent in-house? I think we've done a pretty bang-up job here. Myles Garrett, 97 overall player. We will overpay for this because we need it. We want Myles Garrett to stay here. Wyatt Teller, we have enough money for you now. You're going to come back on another one-year deal. DeJuan Jones, shore up the right side of our tackle spot. We'll bring you back too. Deshaun Watson, goodbye. We still have $124 million to spend. Thinking about bringing Cedric Tillman back, McGuire, Ika. I think that would be a good pick there. Defensive tackle, he's progressing nicely. I really kind of want more of depth there. I need a big time starter. Like that's the big thing. Now Dorian Thompson-Robinson at 64 overall. I thought about bringing him back just because Browns fans love him, but I don't see him being a starter, and we could probably draft a guy, maybe sign a veteran backup or something, right? We currently have 2 quarterbacks on the roster right now, Kiernan and Kilpatrick, a guy that we drafted a couple seasons ago. But yeah, as we go ahead and we sign everybody else here as far as depth goes, this is who's left to re-sign. We got Whippler there, Thompson-Robinson, Barrett, Tapp, Van Ginkel, Winovich, and Deshaun Watson. And I think we'll just let all those guys go. We currently have a 53-man roster. That's enough to go into next season with, but we have a lot of money left to spend, and we got a superstar dev quarterback, guys. Remember when Dorian Kiernan, when we drafted him, he was a hidden? Well, he is a superstar dev. I'd say that's a nice return. Not only did we get Deshaun Watson's money off the books, he's a star dev. He's not producing. Now we get a one-year pro quarterback who's already better than him as far as overall is concerned. and a superstar dev. He gets abilities. I love it. Let's go. Dorian Kiernan is the future of the Browns franchise. Let's do this thing. Now, before we head into free agency, taking a quick look at what we need, and honestly, it's just the defensive tackle spot is like speaking to me big time. Linebacker, you could use a little bit more depth there, but I like our starters. They're young. You got Irons, Bassey, and Temple. Love that, but I think we do need to like shore it up just a little bit. Cornerback, I love that cornerback room. I'm not really interested in fixing that up, but maybe strong safety. Ronnie Harrison's getting a little up there in age. And I think offensive line is an area where we could focus on too. As far as guard goes, guard and center, you know, maybe that's a spot for us. Wyatt Teller's still back there, but we do need another guy on the other side, and that's why we're going after Shaq Mason. Defensive tackle, Javon Kinlaw's rating is 73, but I love his attributes. I love his skills. So let's bring him in here and shore that baby up, and I think he'll be a good player for us. Drew Sanders, pretty young player there from Arkansas. We'll go after him. He's got a star dev. That would really shore up the middle linebacker spot. He's a tackle machine, so I love that we're going to be able to go after him. We'll go after Eric Stokes. I love the speed. We don't even necessarily need another cornerback, but that speed is really hard to pass up on, so we'll go after him. We went after Kyle Duggar as well to shore up that strong safety spot. Honestly, he would be huge for us, but he didn't sign with us. We targeted everybody else and got everybody else, but Kyle Duggar, we were number one for him, and he decided to go to Jacksonville. That would have been huge for us, man. That would have sent this team over the top. Would have been a really, really good get, but it's all right. Oh well. Michael Gallup was a guy that I've been targeting for a little while with Dallas. Thought about trading for him, but now he's a free agent, and he's still got a pretty decent overall at 79. He would be wide receiver 2, along with Cordell Hills at wide receiver 1. Musgrave would be tight end number 2, right behind Pro Bowler Michael Swain. Looking at some linebackers, and Matt Milano was really interested in us, and he would be a really, really good coverage guy. That's what we're going to use him as. We got Dave Irons. He's a good overall, but Matt Milano, Super Bowl winner, MVP, Super Bowl MVP, not an actual defensive player MVP. You guys know what I'm saying here, but he would be a good get for us, kind of replacing that Eric Kendricks role. Now look at that class. Look at that free agent class. Plus, we're trying to go grab Taylor Decker. I want to kick him out to the right side and take over for DeJuan Jones. John Dean, I'm going to give him another chance, our left tackle here. From season 1's draft class. I'm going to give him another try, but Taylor Decker would be big for us as an 81 overall player. Did a couple evals on him, and he was just asking for a bunch of money. He wouldn't sign until we overpaid for him, but that's okay. It's okay. He's a really good tackle. Like, we're going to kick him out to the right side, and we'll be fine. 81 overall player, that's elite company for linemen in Madden, for sure. So guys, we want to move up in round number 1, and the Broncos are just asking for a crap ton of picks that I quite frankly don't really want to give them that much. But I do want that pick 12, so we're going to kind of be a hard bargain here. We'll give them our 25th pick, or maybe 26th pick. We'll give them a round 3 pick 90, and then we'll also go give them round 2 of next season, because there's a guy that I really like in this draft class that we want to move up 16 spots for, from where we were to up to number 12. And now that we're here, we need a speed rusher. We need it from one of these end sides, because you got Garrett coming back. You could go with this guy Crutchfield. He's a left end, or you could go with a right end that you could move to left in Dom Hilton. Look at those numbers, guys. He's not elite in any particular thing, but he does run well. He's strong. He's got 86 strength right there, 82 speed. Like, that's a great pick for us. I love that pick. Going to be a big-time player for us. He's a hidden dev. Plus, now, we just drafted center in the last draft. But take a look at these numbers here. Elite, elite, elite. Jumping, change of direction, agility. He was 1st and 4th and 3rd in a lot of these rankings here for centers. J.J. Abrams from Wisconsin, 91 strength. He's probably going to be our starting center to begin the year. Now, if we look at our draft class here real quick, I honestly just simulated the rest of like these picks. But round 1 and round 2 were hits. J.J. Abrams and Dom Hilton. Taking a look at the rest of our team here. Quarterback's been shored up. Wide receivers look good. Michael Swain, Luke Musgrave. 2 tight end system there. Taylor Decker and John Dean. What do you do there? I think, again, we're just going to move Taylor Decker to the right side. Shaq Mason, left guard. Abrams is a 73. He will be our starter there. Wyatt Teller is the best offensive lineman as far as ratings go. And then, of course, there's DeJuan Jones, whose job is now going to be on the line thanks to Taylor Decker getting moved from left tackle to right tackle. And as we move Taylor Decker to right tackle, we'll take a look at the rest of the roster here. Speed rushers, you got Nick Hall, you got McGuire, you got Garrett, Hilton, that we're going to move to the left side to start. Cornerback room looks really good with Stokes, Ward, Cortez Williams, Xavier Green at free safety. Ronnie Harrison still the starter at 74. I'm really excited about this roster. I think that with Kiernan at the helm, who's now going to be moving into the 80 range at overall, with a superstar dev, with Nick Chubb, with a tight end and Michael Swain that made it to the Pro Bowl. You got a nice receiver room now with Gallup and Hills and Cedric Tillman at the slot. Offensive line has been remade. All that money that was getting soaked up thanks to Deshaun Watson has now been spread around the team. And that's been huge, man. That's been huge for this offseason. And I think the subsequent seasons, last couple of years, we've kind of managed it to perfection. I think that, we had to say goodbye to a lot of really good players, a lot of core players for us that were hard to say goodbye to, but I think we're building it the right way. So now moving past week number 1, and it was against the Steelers. So an AFC North matchup that we ended up winning here, 22-17. Close game, scored 6 points in the fourth quarter. Must have been 2 field goals. But Kiernan with 3 touchdowns in his very first career NFL game. 3 touchdowns, no picks. Yeah, I think he's legit. I think he's the answer to our prayers. He even got in on the rushing attack. 6 rushes for 25 yards. We didn't even really cover that. He's actually really athletic. If you went back and looked at where we drafted him and then looked at his ratings, he's got a lot of speed. He can run a little bit too. So he's not just like a purebred quarterback. He's not a pocket passer. He's a guy that can get athletic and can get out and run a little bit. Drew Sanders looks like he's going to make a claim for Defensive Player of the Year. If he keeps getting those types of tackle numbers every week, that's going to be big time. Bassey, again, I'm a little disappointed in what he's been putting out these last couple seasons. So last year and then now early this year. It's a long season still. I'm hoping that he bounces back from his Defensive Rookie of the Year winning season a couple years ago. So we'll see how all that plays out. But we're going to move now to the next week. And we beat the Colts. Whew, that's a big win. 31-28 victory over that stacked Colts team. It's money. Look at Dorian Kiernan. 30 of 42, 368, and 4 touchdowns. Oh my God. This dude is the truth. Holy crap. No turnovers either. 465 yards gained. We just shred him up, dude. 368, 4 touchdowns, 1 sack. But look at the completion percentage, guys. I mean, it's unreal. Dorian Kiernan is the man. Cordell Hills, love to see this. Love to see this. Our youth, the guys that we relied on, the guys that we had confidence on. 4 catches for 112 and 2 touchdowns. Michael Gallup, 5 for 61. Had a decent day there. Swain had a touchdown as well. And only 1 sack given up. Taylor Decker on the right side. Stokes had 7 tackles. We had Drew Sanders, another 6 tackle performance. So he's now up to 16 tackles on the season. He also had a TFL. And sacks, we had Dave Irons and Myles Garrett. No picks. Moving past next week, we're going to go week by week here for a little bit. Kind of get a feel for the team because it's been a big makeover. We will beat the Rams 20-17. So a lot of close victories here for Cleveland, but we're getting the job done. Hey, Robbie Mann looks just like Kiernan. Go figure that. But 67% completion percentage for Kiernan. That's definitely a lot better than what Deshaun Watson was doing here for quite some time. But Nick Chubb, 100 yards here today, and no touchdowns through the air, it looks like. So everything was done on the ground. Very close, hard-fought game. Only 1 sack given up, and it was DeJuan Jones on the right side. Sanders, another top tackling performance here for the team. He had 7 this week. I think he's on the road to that Defensive Player of the Year if he can keep putting up those numbers. get some tackles for losses, get some sacks chipped in there, and I think he's well on his way. No picks as well. So, guys, we are now 3-0, heading into Kansas City Chiefs week. They're 1-2. They're the Super Bowl champs. And we're going to get some gameplay. For the first time in this rebuild, we're going to get some gameplay here. We do have Isaiah McGuire in a breakout scenario, plus Cordell Hill's playing really, really well. I think he's going to get a nice upgrade here. We're going to focus on the deep threat. Just a little spoiler alert. If we look at his ratings real quick, he's 74 on the deep route. If he can get like a +1 or +2 there, that's going to be huge for him. He's really good on the short route, medium route, but deep threat, he's got to work on that a little bit, and that's going to bump him up to an 80 overall. He did get a +2 on the deep route. That's really huge for us. But guys, that's going to do it for today's video in the long build. Next time I see you guys, we'll get some gameplay here, and then we'll end up simulating the rest of the season and see how this new look Browns team is going to fare across year number 5. So guys, leave a like to like this thing. I'll see you in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.